Hello everyone, welcome back to the another lecture. So my name is Ashish and we are going to talk about the gate driver. So in the last few classes in this playlist we have seen about the wide band gap devices, silicon carbide device, then GaN devices, why they are so important to us in power electronics. After that we have seen how to characterize them, right? Characterization is very important. Then we have seen the double pulse test, single pulse test. Then we have look for how and why the junction capacitance are very much important, right? So this thing we have already seen. Now we are come to the very important topic, that is a gate driver. What is gate driver and all? So I am going to make 4 videos. In this particular lecture we will talk about some basics of gate driver, that what is a gate driver and all. Then in the next class we will see how to design the gate driver. Once we learn how to design the gate driver, we will solve one numerical problem on it, and after that we will take one data sheet, and from the data sheet what are the different protections are available in the gate driver and all these things we will see. So in entire 4 lectures we will try to cover lot many things. Okay, so let's get started with this lecture. So introduction to gate driver. So now first thing first, that you have some power electronic circuit, right? Then what you will generally do, you will generate the PWM signals to given to the gate of the switches, right? So what is the output if we have done so many simulations, right? So you maybe know that what is the output of the gate pulse when we generate the output. What is the output? So output is like 1 0, right? So it is either 1 or 0. I am going to give the gate pulses to my switches, right? But in practical, whether it is possible to give directly this 1 0 to my gate switches, no, it is not possible, because these are some logics, either 0 or 1, it is on or off, and these gate pulses are very less current. These gate pulses are very less current, and this current is not capable to drive my switches. So what should I do then? If this is not capable, then what should I do? So I need to put some power electronic circuit. What it will do? It will take this 1 0 and it will form some higher value of current that I am going to give to my switches. So what is this circuit which will do that? This is my gate driver. This is my gate driver. Okay, so here my gate driver requirement is generated, that I am generating my gate pulses from with the help of some controller, right? Then this 1 0 I cannot give to my switches, so I need something which I should give, right? So what is that thing? So I have to pass my this signals to the gate driver. What does this gate driver will do? It will uh, amplify the signals, and then we can give it to my switches. So you have generally heard this word on application of the VGS. What is VGS? Gate to source voltage. On application of the gate to source voltage, some amount of current will flow and my switch is turn on. Okay, this is a general thing which will happen, right? So this is about the basics of gate driver, that why there is a requirement of gate driver and how and what we need, right? Now we will see few more things, and in the next class we will learn about how to design the gate driver, right? So let's move forward. So what I have told you, that what is a gate driver? It is a just kind of the amplifier which amplifies the signal. Okay, so in the previous slide I have told you the same thing, that we have generated the 1 0 pulses from the our controller, and this we cannot give to our switches, so we need something which will amplify my signal. Okay, so this 1 0 I cannot give, so I need something which will amplify it, and then I can give it to it, right? So my current level will increase. When this transition will happen, my current level will increase, and how this current and what value of this current we need, that we will see later. Okay, in the upcoming slide, that what value of current I should need to give my switches, whether it is any random number or what. No, it is not random number, it is depend on something, okay, which we will see later. So what I am trying to say is that it is just kind of the amplifier which amplifies my signal, which it will collect from the controller IC, and it will produce some high current gate drive. Okay, and then I will give to my switches. So where I will apply my gate on this gate to source voltage I am going to give. Okay, so I am going to apply my pulse here, and with this, when the my gate capacitances, you know, the capacitances, when my capacitances get charged, that time my switch will be turned on. Okay, so this is the same theory is written down here, whatever I have talked so far. So now let's move forward. So the same thing I have told you, that we cannot be the controller IC which PWM signals we generate, that signal cannot drive my switches, right? So we need something in between. So that is all requirement. So what is the basic control block diagram? So we have our control circuit, then we have our gate driver, then that is connected to the power converter, my switches, and then I have my load. Okay, so this is a basic control structure which is available. So our main focus in this lecture is about the gate driver only. So up till now, I guess everything you have understood. So it is just an amplifier which amplifies my signal, and then I am going to give it to my switches, right? And where I will going to give it in between the gate to source terminal. Okay, so this thing you have cleared. Now, what are the different types of the gate drivers available? So there are basically, we classified the gate driver into two categories. One is a low side gate driver, another is a high side low side gate driver. So what is the difference between these two? So first we will see the low side gate driver. What is the low side gate driver? When my switch is connected with respect to some ground, when my switch is connected with respect to some ground, that time I will call it as a low side driver. So you can see here one figure that I am going to apply my gate pulse in between the gate to source terminal, and my source is a ground. So that is why it is called as a low side switches. Then what is the high side low side driver? So this driver will generate, so this driver will generate the two pulses. One pulse it will give on the upper side, another pulse it will give on the lower side. So lower side pulse, low side pulse is, again you see, it is with respect to the ground. But here you will see that my upper switch is not connected with respect to the ground. It has some voltage here, because the drain of the other switch is here and the same source of the first switch is here. So this is not zero potential. So such a type of circuit is such a type of connection is a floating connection. Okay, this is not with respect to my ground, so it is a floating connection. So when there is a floating connection, that time I need the high side low side gate driver. Okay, so this thing you should keep in your mind. So I will go through the data sheet of low side gate driver, then high side low side gate driver. There I will show you that what is the distinct difference between them, how the ratings of the gate driver change and all. So those things we will also cover. Okay, so I hope so. If somebody asks you what are the different types of the gate driver, you should say, sir, there is a one low side gate driver, and sir, there is a high side low side gate driver, and these are classified based on the floating supply. If the floating supply is available, then it is a low side gate driver. If the floating supply is not available, then it is a different type of gate driver. Okay, so till this point you understood, I guess. Now we will move forward. So up to this point, I guess everything is clear. Now what is a gate driver isolation? So I am talking about the isolation here. So isolation can be provided in three different ways. One is a inductive isolation, another is a capacitive isolation, third one is a optical isolation. What is the isolation? Providing some space in between the input and output. This is called as the isolation, right? So why the isolation is very important? Because this is for the functional as well as the safety purpose, isolation is provided. So in the same thing is written down here, that the low side driver cannot be used directly for driving the upper power devices. The upper power devices require an isolated gate driver, because the source and emitter of the upper side devices are not sitting at the ground potential, that is they are floating. And if the floating is there, so we need some isolation, because we cannot directly give my signal to gate of the device. If we are giving it, maybe some hazard may happen, and my switch may damage. So this thing should not happen. That is why isolation is very important. This is from the safety point of view. Okay, so the control PWM block is there, then level shifter, we have shift the, and then we are providing the gate driver IC. Okay, now I will show you in the next figure. You can see here that this is how a basic structure looks like. I have my high side switch, low side switch. Okay, low side switch, the same high side low side gate driver I am going to use, which will generate the two pulses. One it will give to the high side switch and another it will give to the low side switch, right? So for the low side switch, when it will give the pulse, it doesn't have any bother because this is basically with respect to the ground. But when I am going to give it to the high side switch, this is not with respect to the ground, it is a floating supply, floating. So that is why we will allow to give direct gate pulse to the switch. So what we should do here, we can apply some isolation. So if I am going to provide the isolation, this isolation is there inside the gate driver. Few people use separate isolation. That particular kind of isolation is called as optocoupler. So what generally people do, people use some optocoupler and then gate driver, and then it will give to the my switches. But right now modern the gate driver are capable itself, they have the isolation inside within itself. So this isolation we don't need to provide. But if you have to reduce risk very much, so if you have to reduce the risk very much, that time maybe you can provide some optocoupler. So you can search about the optocoupler or opto isolator, you will get to know. Okay, so if you want to go or learn about it, you can just search it, you will come to know what is optocoupler or opto isolator. So those things I am not going to cover here. So gate driver only. So inside the gate driver, isolation is there. Okay, so this is the circuit. Okay, so basic functionality of the gate driver, I guess you understood. There is a need of isolation, this thing also you understood. What are the different isolations are available, that thing I am going to tell you now. So first one is a photocoupler isolation. So what is photocoupler isolation? Some light emitting diode or something is there inside, and light will emit some light. Because of this, other receiving terminal will receive the input and output is generated. So this is a photocoupler isolation. Second type is a magnetic isolation. So some coil is used, and due to the principle of induction, input signal is passed to the output side, and this is happened because of the induction principle, magnetic induction, and my signal is passed. Then third type of isolation is a capacitive isolation. So the SiO2 capacitor is generally used to isolate the input side from the output side. So this is the another kind of capacitive isolation. So I guess you understood up to this. So there are the three different types of the isolation available. Now last thing we will see, I have told you at the start of the video that what current it should take, right? So whether that is depend on something, yeah, this is depend totally on the gate charges. So that is why it is very important to characterize the gate driver. It is very important to characterize the switches. We should know what is its input capacitance, what is its output capacitance. If we know all these things, then it is very easy for us to know the charge requirement. And if I know the charge, then I can easily give that much amount of current, right? That much amount of my signal I will amplify, and I will give it to my switch, right? So you have learned about this. I have already discussed you about the input capacitance, output capacitance and all. So these capacitances value will determine the drive strength of my power switch. Okay, so how much gate driver it should give current, so that is determined by this capacitances. Okay, and you know about this, how my switches basically start, what is my Miller plateau period, and all this thing we have learned. Okay, so with this I will conclude this lecture. So these are the some references which I have used. So if you want to go much more detail, so you can follow this. There are the two application notes from one Rohan and from one TI. So you can refer this note. So in the next class, we will see how to design the gate driver. Okay, so some basic idea I guess you have come across what is a gate driver and all, what is the requirement and how it looks and all. Okay, so this is only the motive of this lecture. In the next class we will learn how to design the gate driver, and then we will solve a numerical problem, and then we will, from the one data sheet, we will try to understand what people are generally look in the data sheet of any gate driver. So what are the different protection it will offer and all, and how they are work and all. So all these things we will going to cover. So so far so now, so that is there for this lecture. So thanks for watching.